What's up, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Project, coming to you live, breaking down UFC, Saudi Arabia. Before we begin, like button for me, definitely subscribe. Sorry, I'm checking. Oh, sorry, I was looking something on my phone. But anyways, we're here breaking down UFC Saudi Arabia. It's gonna be a Saturday card. Like I said, always a like button for me. Definitely subscribe. We're done with the NBA. What a heartbreak for the Mavs, but it is what it is. It was just well, farewell NBA. And in the meantime, I'm gonna break down some UFC. Um, the way I'm gonna do it is I'm not gonna go over every single fight. I'm gonna go over some key fights that I'm looking at for DraftKings wise, because I feel like that's kind of the main course of action I like to do. Is I like to kind of just piece together. I like to hand build UFC lines. I don't really do optimizers for UFC, but yeah, I'm excited. There's gonna be a huge card coming up. There's been a lot of canceled fights. June just seems to feel like it's not the UFC month. It's not with the Connor and Chandler fight. I mean, it's all over the place. But we have Whitaker stepping up against Ikram Aliskerov, which again, if I butcher names, I am sorry. I might just do kind of short names, but it is what it is. So I'm not perfect. I'm human. It is, like I said, it is what it is. But yeah, so let's go over the first fight, which again, I'm not going to try to butcher this name. We're going to go to, let's find it. Magomed, we're going to do God. So I'm not going to try to butcher this name. Magomed MG versus Brinson Ribeiro. I'm on the Magomedov side. This is kind of a fight where if we look at the fights that Ribeiro has fought in, it's not looked good. It's again KO. I mean, this is low level fights. And again, I know that Magomed is making his UFC debut, but the knockout power is there, especially with Ribeiro coming off, like I said, a first round knockout loss 4 months ago against Minwang Zhang. I think again this should be a clear cut fight for Magomed to get a first round knockout or even a second round knockout at 9,300 price tag. I'm kind of going to favor that because of just there's not a lot of high priced options that I do like. Um, Again, I'm not really going to the Gaslam side at 8-9. That's kind of hard to get to. Akbarast at 9,000. I'm not paying 9,000 for that. Freckle lead off where I think it's going to be kind of a closer fight than people expect, but it should be a good DraftKings scoring fight. I mean, the Demas fight is out at 8,600. I don't trust Gavrov at 8,500. There's just not a lot of high priced options that I do like on this fight card. So that's why I think it's going to be easy to go to Magomedov at 9,300 price tag. And I feel like this should be like I said, a clear cut knockout win. I don't see this going to the cards. I think Magomedov should get a finish. And that is the first fight that I am definitely targeting. We're going to go to another fight that I am targeting. We're going to go to the co-main event. Sergey Pavlovich versus Volkov. So, going to my notes again, I am on the Pavlovich side. I think this should be a knockout, first round knockout, or even a second round knockout for him. It's just I don't see the upside of Volkov here. If he's going to try to wrestle, I think that Pavlovich will is good enough to defend the takedowns. So let's go pull out the co-main. And keep in mind they are sparring partners as well. I mean, again, they know each other's secrets. I know that, but again, with the negative 210 odds, Pavlovich, we know the heavy hands are there. The KO. It should be a KO win. It's been 9 months since we saw Volkov, which again, it's not out of the ordinary. Got a win versus Tai Tuivasa. Got a win versus Romanov. Got a win versus Rosenstruck. And then submission loss to Tom Aspinall. They both have similar losses. So again, I think this should be a fight where Sergey can find the first round or second round knockout. I just don't see the upside that Volkov brings in order to stand with him in the striking aspect. I think if this is going to be a striking affair, Alphavich is going to rack up the stats, the significant strikes, and I can see that happening. So again, at the what 87 price tag to find a first round knockout, he can pay off that price tag. I can see that happening. And let's go to another fight. We're gonna go to Jared Gordon versus Hack Brast. So I already said I wasn't really on the Hack Brast side. It's just this is a closer fight than I think it's going to be. So let's bring up Jerry Gordon. So Jerry Gordon got to win versus Mark Madison, which is a grappler. The clash of heads, Bobby Green, no contest. Paddy Pimlet, I'm convinced that he won that fight. Other people may think I'm wrong, but I'm convinced that he won. Leonardo Santos won a decision and then lost to Grant Dawson for submission choke. But again, look at the fighters that Hack has fought. Damon Villarkey, who's terrible. Landon Quinones, meh. John sorry, Medexi. Bobby Green, loss. Dan Hooker loss, which those are two good losses. I'll give him that. I just think that Jerry Gordon is a live dog here. And at that price tag at 7,200, I don't mind it. I know he's coming off of TKO losses, which again, that is scary to think about because high press does have the power. It's just, I don't see the upside that Hack brings. I just think that Gordon is the pretty decent overall fighter. So as long as Gordon can avoid that one shot knockout power, I think he can grind out a judge's scorecards. I think that 7,200, it's going to be viable to fit into your lineups. That gives you now 8,200 left over. Again, if this, like I said, if it goes to the judges, I can see Jared Gordon getting that win and just grinding out a sweaty decision. So we'll go to another fight. I'm looking at Magomedov versus Lukerbach. Short notice fight for Lukerbach. This is Magomedov's fight to win. This should be a clear cut win that he can easily get. I just don't see the upside that Lukerbach brings. I don't think he's UFC caliber. I mean, yes, he's fought over all around the regional scenes at 7,400. Short notice fight. I'm not getting to him at 74. I'm going to Magomedov at 8,800. I like that price tag, especially with the grappling edge that he should have and even the TKO upside that he has. So the leg kicks, the power, TK power, I'm all over this. I mean, look at the win versus Silva. 97 DraftKings points, 8,600. That was a good price tag for him. I mean, look, TKO, TKO, TKO. I mean, yes, he's 38 and 10, Luterbach is, but look at the guys he's fought. I mean, it's just not really UFC caliber fights. I think the points will be able to rack up for Magomedov. I think at 8,800, he should clear over 100 DraftKings points. So I'm locking and loading him at 8,800. That leaves you 8,000 left over. This is kind of the route I'm going. Again, I want a piece of that main event also. That's a nice price tag for Iskarov if you think that he can control Robert Whitaker on the ground. But I'm going to kind of the Whitaker side. But yeah, but there's just a lot of live dogs on this card. I mean, looking at Rodriguez and Gaslam. I'm not paying that price up for Gaslam, like I told you. But yes, Rodriguez is getting up there in age and kind of all over the place. We don't know which version of Johnny Walker we're going to get on this card either. Um, so yeah, a 40-year-old Nicholas Dalby versus Renat Fakardinov. That should be a decent fight to watch. But this is kind of the way I'm going right now on this card. And this is the UFC Saudi Arabia card. Again, I know it's kind of rusty. I haven't done a UFC video in a long time, but keep in mind, I'm going to keep doing these in the near future. So again, thank you for tuning in. It was a great rest of the night, everybody. Have a good one.